Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I would like to talk about the novel A Long Walk to Water. A Long Walk to Water is a novel written by Linda Sue Park and published in 2010. This novel is told in two alternating sections. One section is about a young girl called Naya, and the other one is about a Sudanese boy named Salva. They both live in South Sudan, where the story takes place. Naya is a young girl who lives in southern Sudan. She needs to walk 8 hours per day to get a source of water. The pond that she walks to doesn't have any clean water, it only has infected water. So her family consumes the infected water, and because of that, one of her siblings gets sick. And since Naya spends 8 hours per day walking to that pond, she cannot go to school to study. But all this changes when two men come to her village and start drilling a well for water. They drill a well between two big trees. And after a while, the drilling process is very successful and everyone in the village celebrates. So Naya's impressed because she can have clean water to drink from the well, and since she doesn't need to walk anymore, she can go to school. So she goes to talk to the man who helped bring water into the village. He asks for her name and she tells him that her name is Naya. He tells her that his name is Salva. This is how Naya encounters Salva. Salva's story starts with him in school, daydreaming about the walk home in school. But the class and Salva's thoughts are interrupted by the patter of gunfire outside the classroom. Everyone, including Salva, panics. The teacher remains calm and urges them to run out of the classroom, into the bush, and away from the fighting, and away from their families, so they won't be conscripted into the fighting of the South Sudanese Civil War. Salva manages to join a group of men from his own tribe who are on the run, but they leave him in a barn one night because they think he is a burden to them, because he won't catch up and he'll complain for food. He manages to join another group of men from his own tribe, and he promises to catch up this time. His uncle Jawer joins the group too, and Salva is astonished that he can have a family member with him. Uncle is very kind to Salva. Salva also makes a friend on the journey named Mario, but one night ravenous lions take Mario away. Uncle never makes it to Ethiopia, where the group is heading, because one day a group of newer men ambush the group and take their supplies and kill Uncle. So, with the losses of Uncle and Mario, Salva actually feels stronger, as if they were beside him and helping him. So, Salva makes it to Ethiopia, where he stays until he is 17 years old. But one day the Ethiopian soldiers arrive and say they have to leave. They take the refugees to a nearby river, where they begin tossing them in the river. Some people who are afraid of the soldiers' guns leap into the water on their own. Many people are scared though, because this river is a crocodile-infested river, which means it has crocodiles inside it. And it also has a high current, which is why many people drowned on the way. Salva is one of the few who made it past, because many people were either shot on the way, they were either drowned in the current, or they were eaten up by crocodiles, which is not a good ending. Salva makes it, and he does not know why he is spared. He does not want to go to Sudan, where the fighting is all over the country, so he decides to go to Kenya, where he knows there are refugee camps, and he knows that soldiers won't come and make them leave. So Salva becomes the leader of a group called the Lost Boys because they lost their homes and families. He leads them to Kenya, where they stay in 2 refugee camps for several years. It takes them a year and a half because they crossed they crossed so many times to find that they only made huge circles in the whole country. But finally they make it. When Salva finds out that at the first refugee camp called Kakuma, the conditions are not good there, so he goes to the second camp called Ifo. At the Ifo refugee camp, he meets Michael, an aid worker, who teaches him English and volleyball. Michael is from Ireland, and he went away after a while. But Michael told Salva that he would be eligible to go to America because Salva's name ended up on a list at one of the refugee camp's buildings. So he went there one day. On several flights, he went to Rochester, New York, where he met Chris and Louise and their 4 children. He stayed with them for a couple of years until one day, when coming home from college, which he applied into business college. But one day from returning home from college, he got an email from a cousin in Zimbabwe. And the email was that his father was undergoing surgery and alive in a medical clinic in southern Sudan. Salva is astonished that his father is still alive and survived the war, and immediately begins planning a trip to visit him. It takes many months to make plans, fill out forms, and save money, but finally Salva is able to go to southern Sudan and meet his father. So when he goes past a series of flights and a jeep ride, he is able to go to the clinic where his father is undergoing surgery. His father had to go to surgery because his stomach had become riddled with guinea worms from the infected water that he drank. So they both have an emotional reunion, and his father tells him that most of his family is still alive, except for 2 of Salva's brothers whom died in the fighting. Salva replays the events that happened at the clinic with his father when going on the flight back to America. It had been several years since he had last seen one of his family members, even Uncle Joe. So he also plans to make an organization and do something for his own country, but is not sure what. Once he comes back into America, he knows exactly what to do. He founds the organization called, it's a non-profit too. He founds a non-profit organization called Water for South Sudan. It's a non-profit organization which will give water, a clean source of water, and education to the remote villages of southern Sudan. So this is how Salva meets Naya. So the characters in this novel all struggle to find a basic resource, water. It requires at least one member of each family to walk a great distance each day just to find a source of water for their family. Family is also the most important thing for the characters in this novel. When the major character loses his family, the rest of the tribe becomes his family. This proves that family is the most important thing for the characters in this novel. So, Salva also lived in a time when his country was affected by war. He almost got eaten up by crocodiles, he almost drowned in a river, and he was almost killed. Those are just some of the obstacles he faced while escaping from the war. So, he persevered. Nevertheless, Salva persevered, although he had to cross those obstacles. So, he also had courage during the war. One of his traits is courage. It takes courage to remain on the move and away from home without any family members to be with you, and not turn back. Finally, Salva would be perfectly within his rights to settle down in America and have a comfortable life. However, he's not willing to do that. He wants to help others, especially those in his own country. And he did that. He founded a non-profit organization which helps people in his own country. Salva is grateful for the many people who helped him on his own journey. Just some of those people are Uncle and Michael and Chris and Louise and their children. He is grateful to everyone who helped him, like I said, and that's basically the summary for the novel A Long Walk to Water. I hope you liked it. I really enjoyed reading this novel when I first read it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching.